Now we are going to dig into fluency. So when we think about developing fluency with identification of shapes, I want you to first remember that fluency is doing something easily and accurately. So students should be able to do these things easily and accurately. Number one, identify and name two-dimensional shapes and three-dimensional figures. Number two, use spatial terms to describe shapes in their environment. Number three, recognize and draw two-dimensional shapes, recognize those three-dimensional figures, and then also be able to distinguish between two-dimensional shapes and three-dimensional figures. What are some of the ways we can do this? Well, let's check them out. One way is that we can practice fluency through online songs and games. Number Rock has a lot of great songs here. You can see some of the songs listed here, the polygon song or the types of triangle song. There's also other songs that you might find here or other games as well. So there's a lot of online resources that students can use to practice this identification of shapes and figures. Maybe you engage your students in a shape show and tell. Here you assign each student a different shape or figure for homework, and then they have to find that thing and then describe it by its properties. Maybe here I identify that this rectangular prism has 6 faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. Then they have to use their vocabulary to describe this three-dimensional figure. So here they might say this cereal box is a rectangular prism, and it has 6 faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. Another game that students might want to play that helps them with identification of shapes is the hot seat. Students sit in a seat and they in front of a screen, but they cannot see the screen behind them. And then a shape appears on the screen. And then the student has to ask yes or no questions about the shape or figure's attributes, and then the class answers. So maybe they ask, is the figure, or is it a shape or a figure? Or is it two-dimensional or three-dimensional? Then the class would say, yes, it's three-dimensional, or no, it's two-dimensional. And then once the student answers correctly, another student gets to take the hot seat and another shape appears. So that was just a sampling of some ideas that you might try to help students practice fluency in the classroom related to identification of shapes. So I'd like you to push pause and think about which fluency activities you might use to help students build fluency related to shapes. And of these previous activities that we just saw, what are some of the ones you might try to implement in your classroom?